Hello, all you peasants and nerds. I'm here to make this stupid-ass video about ranting about Warframe. Now, if you're ever wondering if you want to know about this, hearing about the specifications of like Warframe, nerfs, and buffs and stuff,
did you
well,
hear
that's
that?
a lot of
It
statistics
said
and boring math stuff that I
cosmic
cannot understand
background
over,
radiation
so
is a
I'm not going
riot.
to talk about that stuff. I would suggest watching Brozyme or someone on YouTube that has more opinions and more solid points to that shit, being more, you know, like, what's his name? A Remnant needs like buffs and other stuff like that. That guy is better to that suited stuff. I'm here to talk about more broad-ass stuff, more broad spectrums of the current time that apparently no one has ever talked about that I can't find yet. First of all, we need an entirely new benefit to farming. Farming needs to be a lot less pain in the ass. Holy shit. Like, it takes so unbelievably long and tedious and torture to get anywhere in this game. It is not a fun... It takes me hours just to get anywhere, to get a single Warframe or a weapon just to go anywhere, and then I gotta do that shit to get even more shit. It just never ends. And I feel like that shit could be tidied up to generate it a little bit. Like, in my opinion, I feel like with farming weapon parts and Warframe parts, it should be a lot less simpler, or a lot more simpler. Like, the best idea I could come up with would be to be like a temporary lock towards that. So like when you're farming a Warframe or a weapon onto a boss and you get to a point where you've been farming for like 50,000 hours and getting nothing, nowhere, and you wasted all your resources and all your time just to get anywhere in life, that's sad. So I feel like it should be a temporary lock where instead it should be like when you get 3 parts of the same part at any point in time, doesn't matter how cross-referenced it is, the second you get these 3 neuroptics, the neuroptics of that Warframe, of that farm, should be locked out for the next like 30 minutes or so. And therefore, you will be guaranteed to get one of the other 2 parts up to the point where hopefully on your on your at least 7th try, you should finally be able to get all 3 Warframe parts to build the fucker. 8 in case you're farming for the Warframe blueprint as well, which is a good number of those a good number of Warframes. So yeah, that would be pretty neat because I spent literal hours, like a good 11 hours, or not, 4 hours, 300 tries, or no, 70 fucking tries to get Atlas. And that was only like 2 months ago. So that was an unrivaled pain in the ass, and I feel like if that 30-minute timer existed, it would be a lot fucking better and a lot less pain to get through all that stuff. So I feel like that should change a lot better. Oh yeah, resources. That's a fun one. Like, for all the extremely rare resources like Telebrim and Argon, it's okay. I mean, it's a rare resource. It's a pain in the ass, but it's supposed to be a pain in the ass. But I mean, the amount that you get and the amount that you need is actually pretty fucking fair. Like, just go to the Void and do something that's like just an infinite time limit, like a survival. Or the best one is like a capture or exterminate, because then you can stay there with like no consequences. Exterminate. Exterminate's like the easiest one because you just kill shit. There's no time limit. There's nothing. Just kill shit. Done. Capture is another good one because all you gotta do is capture the target and then you're set for life. Then you don't have to worry about anything else except the random enemies that just decide to bother you. And then after that, you just run around the entire map, and eventually, somewhere along the lines, you will have a pretty high ducking chance to get at least 1 Argon cluster, which can always give you at least 1 to sometimes 2, and I've, on rare occasions, got 3 and a single one. I think I got 3 from 1 Argon cluster. I don't know how the fuck that happened. But yeah, that's a possibility, so doing that a lot better would be good. But for the more obnoxious resources, like Oxium, that bitch, and I think Cybernetics, or what's it called? There it is. Copperdicks. That thing. That's from where railjacks are like extremely paid because you get them at such a small rate. Or it's one of those resources. I don't know about railjack stuff. I've never done railjack in my life. Railjack is boring as shit. There you go. That's the definition of railjack. It's boring as shit. It is so tedious and painful and boring, and there's like almost no point, and yada yada yada. It's a disappointment. Blah blah blah. Ugh, excuse me. But yeah, rare resources like those should either be cheaper or more higher expensed, because to get Oxium, like, there are so many things where you have to build, like, I see this like so many times, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Where you have to build, like, you have to build 30,000 Oxium. You need, like, 10... It's never gonna go away. You need, like... Like, let's see, hold on. Why do I keep saying, like, why the fuck? What happened? Where did this come from? I don't know where this came from. Dang it, curse my stupid ass childhood or some bullshit. Archetype. Who's a fucker? There's a fucker. Actually, it's pretty cheap, honestly. Which... Oh, I already have it built. Oh well, resources like Oxy were such an unrivaled pain. There was like at least 2 items or 3 items that I saw that cost like 10,000 Oxium when you only get 16 a run from an Oxium Osprey. You get 16 when you need like 3,000. Why? That's gonna take literal pain of hours to get. Even like just getting 100 from one of those farms takes a good 30 runs of 14 hours of just why do I exist? So that needs to be changed drastically. I don't know if this is really a solid opinion that most people care about, but I'm gonna point it out because too bad. So yeah, do that. If it's like an annoyingly rare resource that is still highly expensive, it should be a lot less rare or a lot more focused. Because like the Oxium Ospreys, they should drop at least 25 to 50 or something per run, per kill. Therefore making like higher expenses where you have to need like 10,000 to 3,000 Oxium for this ducking thing. It needs to be a lot easier to obtain. Holy shit. Yeah, do that. And then my other thing is about primes. Holy biscuit. Now, if anyone has a problem with this, too bad, it's so sad, because, fuck you. Primes need to be drastically increased, because as far as the Warframe universe is concerned, a primed weapon and primed Warframe is the final form of this object. It is the final form of this weapon and our Warframe, making it a lot stronger and better and stuff. Why does it suck? Because the only thing they've ever done is that it takes so much pain or so much expenses to get the plan up to trade to just buy the $80 fucking Prime Access shit, or just randomly buy it from the shop on store, or to get it to trade from someone else, or to just farm for the ducker through the very, very terrible drop chances of of relics. That's another problem. That's another problem on its own. That needs to change now. Holy biscuits. First of all, relics I feel like should be changed to be a lot more beneficial. So I feel like relics should be set as it should have only 3 levels, and it should be set for each level that at level 0 you get all the items that exist, but with at least 100% to 99% guarantee to getting one of the 3 bronze. When you spend the 25 void traces to get it, or 50 void traces and get it to silver, to get it to a flawless, and then you will lose all the bronze and you will only get silvers or a gold. So you can have a chance to actually get one of the 2 golds instead of just constantly getting bronze. That's boring as shit and stupid. And then the same thing with when you spend 100 points to get it to the Radiant, then you should be guaranteed to getting that rare part. Because getting 100 Void Traces is a really pain. It's a really long pain. It's not as easy as you think. It takes a few hours and a few tries to get there, and it takes a good while to get there. So I would say getting 100% to getting rares should be beneficial, in my opinion. I could also see there could be some issues, but I don't care about these. So, yes, do that. That'd be amazing. As far as all my friends are concerned, that sounds awesome. Oh yeah, for the primed items itself, for primed weapons, I don't really know where to go with this. Yeah, I don't know. I never really had any problems with primes. I've used a few primed weapons, and as far as I'm concerned, they're pretty good. They don't have any issues. The beneficial difference in terms of high levels of damage is not terrible. I've never really had any issues, and I can't really think of anything to drastically change that. So, if anyone else has a good idea, please do. I don't really know where to go with this, besides like adding maybe a specific for that weapon to make it do cooler shit. Otherwise, I don't know. However, with primed Warframes, on the other hand, I have a lot more cooler ideas. I have a lot better idea, which is making drastic changes to that. Do it now. Seriously, make every single primed Warframe to have a completely new set of abilities and a passive with their own personalized primed mods that would make it even better or more dramatic, or just buff the things or change it better, and stuff like that. And I have two examples of the two Warframes. I got one for Chromos for ability, because I never used Chromos, so I don't know what to go with that, and one for Inaros, for the entire set of Inaros besides one skill. For Chroma, the suggestion at first was to just turn him into basically a giant dragon. So like he unleashes his shell and turns himself into a giant dragon that covers the entire large area, because there's a lot of large areas. So he like constantly position himself to take over an entire large area. But the more I thought about it, the more that sounds kind of goofy, stupid. It would have worked well in the tight corner areas. So a better idea that I thought would instead he would turn himself into more a condensed dragon. So like at least 2 to 3 chromas combined into one big little boy dragon. And yeah, he basically has his own personal combo set of that. So like you can push the B button to do like two claw swipes, and then like a tail swipe to like a sweep around 360, so smack all the enemies around. If you shoot your fireball, or if you use RT to just do the basic attack, he can just fire like fireballs or a hot breath attack. And then if you aim down sight and then do it, aim down sight and fire the trigger, then you can shoot like a flame or something, like just a big hot flame that melts enemies in seconds. That's all I got for Chroma. I don't know, I never used him, so bleh. I've not used him yet. I'm still working on the yucky baseboard. Look at that. Look how sad that. So yeah, for Inaros, on the other hand, that I have built, yeah, I have some really good ideas for Inaros Prime. First of all, his first ability. Where is it? There he is. For his first ability of Descolation, I had a cooler idea where instead of just throwing some random dust in the eyes, his prime variant should be able to create a small little sandstorm within like 10 meters around his body. So you can just embrace a good small area around it. It's just a drastic, high damaging sandstorm, and it would do drastic certain level of enemies. So like if it's anywhere level 1 to level 30 to 40, it should do a drastic amount of damage. They regret ever being alive. And if it's anywhere between middle grounds of like 60 to 70, they're just going to be annoyed. And anything between 80 to 100, they're just laughing at you while they're being blind. They're just laughing maniacally while they can't see. So yeah, it would do some pretty good amount of damage and do more AoE damage. And the other benefit, the side benefit, because when he does it, he can self-kill people to get himself some health. Any enemy that is killed within the sandstorm would get 5% of your health back. Any enemy killed in the sandstorm with a gun, you or your allies, would get 10% of your health back. Any enemy killed by your melee with allies would give you 15% of your health back. And any enemy you can successfully stealth kill while in the sandstorm should give you a blunt, solid 25%, but only from you. So a solid 25% of your health back instantly. Yes, please do. That would be awesome, and it's very fair to me. The Devour ability, I've also had a really good idea. The Sand Pit, where he creates a ant-lion sand pit. So he can either, like, my beginning idea was that he could just, like, aim at an enemy and then shove them into the sand pit, but the more I thought about it, the more how either broken or kind of stupid that would be. So it would be a more, so I changed it where instead he would be the epicenter. And as long as you have with, actually no, screw the specifics. It's just, anytime that you do that ability, you dig yourself into the ground and create a good 15-20 meter circle, or 15 to 10 meter circle around you that will just grab in enemies. Any enemies within like a good 30 to 50 meters from that circle will be slowly, painfully gravitated, like 1 meter a second or something, gravitated toward the epicenter. Once they hit the sand pit, though, they will be dragged a lot faster and will get a good amount of damage while rapidly storing your health like 1 a second. Once they hit the epicenter, though, they will be constantly damaged by stealth kill damage. So by your gun and any of the benefits that benefit that will do an immense amount of damage. Once they are killed by that, any solid numbers of health that has been stolen from that will be immediately given to you right then and there. And any allies that are in the sand pit or within 5 meters of the outside of it should also get a small percent health gain. Sandstorm, I don't really know what to do with this thing. Like, the best thing I could think of to do would be, like, he instead just, like, washes his hands and then turns himself or just summons, like, a small few tornadoes around him and then possibly could be benefited with, the sand pit and sandstorm. This could be, like, the sand chaos or something. And he basically just spawns some sand tornadoes, and like if it's in the sandstorm, it's the first ability, it'll do more damage. Enemies will get destroyed a lot faster. Maybe it can give like a small, like a good 5% health boost to all the kills. So then it'll go to 10, 20, 15, or 10, 20, 15 to 30. I definitely fucked that up, whatever. Yeah, it'd be like the 10 for kills, 15 for guns, 20 for blades, and then 30 per stealth. Yeah. And it can benefit that, and then the Devourer can just help them, like lucky shots every so often, and an enemy could get flinged directly into the epicenter getting wrecked. So that's the best I can do with that. And Scarab Swarm, I feel like, should be changed into Scarab Armor, where instead he spawns in a bunch of, I would say, like, medium-sized scarabs that completely surround his body. So he just looks basically kind of like that, but like 24/7. So like that, but 24/7. So he just constantly has just scarabs swarming around his entire body. Just a bunch of black and white things just swarming around his whole body. And the best thing that I can think of to do is, while he has his armor, he is basically invincible for this amount of time, because instead it will add a secondary health bar. It can either be set to the enemy's health, to the enemy's level difficulty, or to your own abilities level. So at levels 10, 20, and 30, it would be changed to 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 extra health. So while you basically have your Scarab Armor, you will get 1,000 armor extra benefit with the exact amount of benefits to your current armor. So if you're fighting weak ass enemies and you have 1,000 extra health, and your 1,000 takes like 2 damage from this normal gun of this enemy that does like 30,000 damage, but you're only taking 2, then your extra health is only taking the 2. So bam, it's basically a second health bar. There should be no degrades to that. And then, yeah, the same thing that goes with the 10,000 and the 100,000. The cost to this ability, though, is the fact that instead of you just rapidly just destroying your health in seconds, it would be free, but constantly degrading your health. So every single literal solid second, you were losing 1 health, 1 health, 1 health, 1 health at a constant rate. So to make it fair, and you're constantly losing health. So spamming your devour, your other 3 abilities to constantly heal yourself would be fucking... Yes, just do that. Do it now. And the also cool benefit idea that I had is that he can share his abilities to other allies. So, like, if you aim at an ally and hold the ability, you can then spread your Scarab armor and give them a small benefit with, like, 250, 3,000, and then, like, 5,000. Something like that. A small benefit to it, so that they also get a small percentage of your armor's defense ability. So it's not as drastic on you, but it'll still be benefit. And the other downgrade to that is that you were doubling your health loss. So it'll go up to, so a second person will give you 2 health a second, a third person will give you 4 health, and then the fourth person will give you 8 health a second. So you were constantly losing a rapid amount of health, but you're also benefiting your allies so they can have so they can be really tough like you, almost as tough, and just kick ass, everything dies. That's the best that I have for my Anaros. I'm working on the other classes, but there are so many Warframes and so much shit that I have to worry about. Oh, that's not happening anytime soon. But yeah, that would be fantastic to do all that stuff, to make all the primes just change their abilities drastically. And if anyone ever says, like, why don't you just create the Warframe ideas for yourself, I will gladly spend every waking moment of my life building out every single Warframe and then giving you the best definitive fair description that I can give for every single Warframe that you can follow through. I will. I do not care. For the passive, I don't know what to do with this thing. The closest thing that I could think of to do would turn him into the Pokemon, the sarcophagus Pokemon, where he grows his little ghost hands and drags people into. That's like the closest thing that I could think of to do, where he gets like sand hands and like can grab enemies and like at the very least. I feel like it would be better if he can grab enemies and start crushing them rapidly, and once an enemy is killed, he can drag him in and then just instantly revive himself. Because his current ability sucks balls. Unless you're, like, fighting an exact, like, level 30 enemy, if it's level 1s, they die too fast, and if it's a level 50 to beyond, you ain't doing shit, you're dying. You're not making any amount of progress. And if it's, like, an exact level 30, it's like, I've only been able to revive myself at level 30s. And if it's too low, I'll just die, because the enemies don't give me shit. And if it's too high, then I can't do any damage. Their health is just laughing at me. Their shields or their health is laughing at me while I'm doing nothing. So doing a big hand that can grab enemies and crush them rapidly, and then once he kills them, he drags them into his sarcophagus, and at any level, he instantly revives himself. Yes, that would be a lot better. That would be a lot more beneficial. For the prime mods, I don't know. I don't know if there was a mod that affected his passive where he could move. I don't know. I was told that was a thing, but at the same time, I don't know, so... But I feel like if it is a thing, that should be a thing. He could do that, or you can make it where he can grab multiple enemies at once, and then he can, like... Even better, he can, like, overheal himself. Like, if he can grab up to 2 enemies to kill them at near the same time, he can overheal himself with a small overheal percent. That'd be neat. Yeah, I don't know what the other abilities... So that's all I got for Anaros. Sadly, I can't think of all the other Warframes because there is a lot. I am painfully working on Neza Prime. I can't really think of anything. Neza's... I mean, let's see. He throws a hoop. He lights himself on fire. He creates a ring of fire, and he creates spikes. I don't know where to go with that. That's taken me, my friend, a painfully long time to get anywhere. What am I missing? Shit. Oh fuck, I think I'm out of ideas now. That sucks. Let's see. Companions is not much of a problem. Mods I don't know about. I'm not really having much issues because I'm cheating like a lazy person that I am. Pets are good. Oh yeah, and relics, change that. We're loading forever. That's like it. But I want to change. That would be also cool if you could change the relics. So like every single cost level should be a solid difference. So like if it's at level 0, it should give you a solid chance to getting everything, but with a high chance of getting a bronze. Once you make it up to the 50, once you spend the 50 void tokens or void fissures and get it up to flawless, it should give you a guarantee of 100% of the silver with a small chance of gold and no more bronze. So just delete the entire section of bronze. And then the same thing with the 100 void traces, which are painful to get, let me tell you. And it should be just a 100% guarantee to get the final golden ray. You are not loading. So, yeah, it's the best I can do. I mean, I have another drastical idea that I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. But if that ever does happen, the final idea that I have for this is to change everything in here. Just basically change the game completely in the most drastic sense of the universe. And basically remove this. Remove all of this shitty nodes and instead just turn the entire planet Earth into one map. And just make the entire universe open world. Just do that. Just make every single planet completely new. You can still add the knowledgeable map that everyone knows and loves, but also change a lot of add a lot of shit. Make it just a completely new planet with new enemies, new types of enemies, maybe an entirely new faction. I don't know where to go with that. I can't really think of any other factions, but that'd be pretty neat. And yeah, make every other planet open world with all the nodes instead being just an entire planet so you can explore completely. Resources should be a lot easier to obtain because they're a pain in the ass and no one likes that. What open world. Oh yeah, and for farming for primes and stuff, and for farming for parts and weapons and warframes, primes and other stuff like that, to be more set to missions that can be repeated. So instead, you can go and do a quest to farm yourself each of the primed weapons, armors, or weapons, warframes, and the base versions, allowing you to basically get the thing as a guaranteed drop while doing a pretty neato and funny mission that would both make you laugh, make you cry, give you some entertainment, make this a lot less boring. As well as, you know, as everyone keeps talking about, which I fully agree, is add more story. Add a lot more story missions, because holy shit, I mean, this universe is vast, man. This thing needs a lot more missions. This needs a lot more, vastness to the entire quest line. We need more quests, more story, more hinting stuff, because I'm a lazy person, I am also illiterate, and I do not like reading for 20 hours just to learn the backstory of Lotus and other shit. No, I want to physically and visually witness it. I want to see...
The balance of power continues to shift. Navigation is marked with new invasions.
Shut up, Lotus. I want to see the entire change. I want to physically see with my eyes. I want to be there when, like, you see backstory and witness the backstory, experience it, change it, do shit like that. Would be a lot cooler. As we're waiting for this thing to take an eternity to So do that. Make a lot more quests, a lot more versatile, a lot more introduction to the story for the history, for the present day, for the continuation of the future. Because as far as I'm concerned, this universe can last for all the fucking eternity. This game will outlast time and space, I swear. The servers will die, and this game will still live on. I can guarantee you, the internet of the entire world could fucking die, and this game will still just crawling into existence. Like, just, I'm not dead yet, bitch! This game is too powerful, my guy. So, yeah, do that. Open worlds. Oh, yeah. Assassinations should be more as an explored raid boss. How about that? Make assassinations a lot tougher, because as far as most of the assassinations are, like Lephantis and... the Rapolis, I'm never gonna pronounce that right. That fucker are like the only two dudes that are toughest and slightly challenging bosses in existence. Unless you have really good at gear, they're like the only ones that have been able to successfully kill me easily. if I'm not careful, I get fucked over pretty quickly with these fuckers. So those are like the only two toughest bosses. Every other assassination boss is just go there, kick its ass, or shoot its weak point. Now it's dead, and now I'm sad. And look at that, I got another 13 neurotics. So upgrade the bosses, like make the game open world, and make every single boss like its own personal raid boss. Give it some buffs. Make it more over-dramatic. Make it over-dramatic like Dark Souls or Monster Hunter. Make this thing a fucking monstrosity. And also make missions to explain what the fuck happened to them so we know why they're all fucked up without me having to read an entire dictionary. As I said, so do that. Make them more versatile. Make them more focused on you needing an actual good-ass team to go farm this, to go kill this boss, to get a good weapon, a good warframe, a good armor, something. I don't know. Just make it like tougher and make it more worthwhile to doing. It'd definitely be like an introduction to all the bosses would be the quest. So like you first do the quest, it finally introduces you to getting the 3 parts, and then you go finally fight the final boss in a big-ass terrifying monstrosity. It's really difficult with your friends, and you can do solo, but it will be a pain in the ass, and you'll regret ever doing it by yourself to finally get the final Warframe to build him. And then you can do, I don't know, maybe like a prime. Oh, that'd be really cool if you can make the prime variant of the bosses to making them like void infused to give them more combos, more abilities, more looks. Just do all that fancy shit for the prime variant. That would be neat. That's an idea that I literally just came up with just now. Neat. So yeah, do that. Make like the primes, like the prime bosses, just drastically increased. Just a completely new enemy. Because like this universe is vast. This universe is infinite. There is so much shit you can add to this. I am not kidding. As I see from many YouTube videos, and I fucking agree, this shit is vast. This shit could be benefited and added to so fucking much. What else am I missing? Oh yeah, alerts. Alerts in Nightwave, where basically they replaced the alert system, which is a randomly generated system to just do stupid ass shit and get some good ass rewards, to basically a Nightwave battle pass. But they turned this shit into the Nightwave battle pass. Oh, look at that. Which is, you know,
the steady blade in certain hands extracts a tide of blood and pain.
It's not a replacement. It is not an acceptable new system to this. No, it is not. If you combined both of them, it would be fantastic.
Ta-ta, lovelies.
Speaking of, if you remastered the entire game to the open world, I want to turn the alerts into an entirely new system. Ooh, I need water. I'm out of water. Fuck. To an entirely new system where instead it would be like random nodes, just like a destroyed ship or an asteroid field or some random Orkin thing, because Orkin is a mystery. And it could be like some random Orkin chest areas, like a vaults, there it is, there's the word. And that would just be floating around in space, and every so often the Lotus or Ortis will just all of a sudden discover a ping, like this is an unknown place, let's go explore it. And all the things should be like a miniature, like should just be a mini raid boss area. So just tiny little bosses, a little bit of a puzzle, something that's not stupidly boring and easy, but at the same time not impossibly hard. Just give it like a fair, simple challenge so like any puzzle nerds, because every single friend group has at least one absolute genius nerd that knows everything about puzzles and can solve like the Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds flat while asleep. Every single person has that. So just give like a small simple puzzle and then like just a little mini raid boss that could just, I don't know, be a mutation or just a random Orkin battle tech, I don't know, something. Just anything, fast enemies, just mini raid bosses, and once you can beat it and then you get into the chest room, this is where things get more interesting, is that instead of just some random shit, it would be completely randomly generated. I don't know why I said remedy. Randomly generated, complete chaos of a base number of 50x. The 50x is the standpoint of how much of points systems you are spending to obtain an item. For example, an entirely pre-built Warframe of like just an entire Inaros Prime, completely built, no pain in the ass to do, would be an entire 50x. It would be the one single reward. That would be 50 points. And anything within like currency and credits and resources should be more of a set number. So 1 point could earn a base of 100,000 credits. And so on and so forth. So like annoyingly rare resources like Oxium could be 1,000 to 10,000. I would say about like 1,000, that'd be fair. And all the stupidly rare resources like Telebrim and Argon, should be worth at least 10 points. Or, no, 10 per 1 point. Because, you know, they're not that rare. But here's the kicker. The fun part is that instead of just being a solid number, this is where the fun chaos part that I definitely would love, is that it is completely chaotic. So it does not give you a 100% chance to get at least 10 credits with 2 Argon or some shit. Like, it is completely random. The resource gain, the resource availability is completely random. The point system is randomized, and the point system value. So this 1 point, this one of the 50 points that you could earn, could be all sorts of random stuff. It does not have to be a solid 100 credits. This 1 point could give you 5 Argon and 10,000 credits, or 10 Oxium, or some shit, and it just keeps going on from there. So the resource is completely randomized. There is no solid number to this. The only solid number is the maximum point that the maximum number that 1 point can give you, but it will not be a guarantee to get that one solid point. That 1 point can be completely random shifted all the way up to the 50x. So you can either just pop up and get like 2 billion resources that you already have, or you could get complete shit. You can get all sorts of cool stuff. You can get some broken ass weapons. You can get an entirely new mod. You can get anything. You can get, on the very rare occasions, you could possibly even get an entirely pre-built Warframe or weapon that you probably just have to like repair or some shit that would just cost like a cheap amount of resources. Yeah, it'd be like pre-builts. I feel like should be just, it'd be like the Warframe of the weapon, but it's just like slightly broken down because it's been lost in the ages, and you can basically just rebuild it, or you can sell it for a shit ton of money if you already have the thing, or you can give it to your friends for platinum, or for just because fuck it, they're having terrible luck and whatnot. It doesn't matter. It's your choice. Whatever. Oh yeah, and the last thing that I completely forgot to talk about, platinum, that little bastard. And I get it, it's money, they need the money, I get it. However, not all of us are fucking rich, not all of us have jobs. I am one of them. I am depressed and I want to kill myself, but I'm not going to kill myself because I'm too optimistic psychopath. But I have no money, I have no income source, which sucks balls. So getting platinum is an unrivaled pain in the ass, especially because it takes me so long to get a fucking prime set, and then even longer to find someone who actually is worthy and wanting to buy such things, so I can get myself some slots, so I can get on with my life instead of me having to constantly sell and rebuild all these weapons and warframes, which I am never doing. I did that once in the beginning. I hate everything. I am never doing that shit again. I did that to Limbo, and I hate my life. And Rhino. So I hate my life. I don't want to do that. Platinum needs to be a soft exchange, or I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Platinum needs to be a non-forced resource. I feel like, at the very least for slots, the main thing that mostly everyone gives a fuck about, because platinum can be used to speed up resources and other stuff, and I don't really care. If you're a bunch of impatient motherfuckers that want to spend $2 billion to make your Warframe build instantly, make all your Warframes and weapons build instantly, go right ahead. I have nothing to care about. But for the main important thing that everyone like me is a collector who wants to add everything to his shit. He just wants to have everything, all the Warframes, all the weapons, for no reason, because I'm a psychopathic collector and I just want to. Should be a lot more universally free available. So it would be like every single slot point would be like, I don't know, 100 to 50,000 credits. So not cheap, but cheap enough, at least available. So I can get like 100,000 credits and I can get myself 1 Warframe slot or 2 weapon slots and stuff like that, so that at least platinum isn't a forced necessity for motherfuckers like me who just want to add the entire collection system. That's stupid. Make that more universally available, and that could be happening. That can happen at the present game or into the Universal Warframe 2.0 game. I couldn't care less. Just make that happen. Seriously, I get it. Platinum is nice because you need the money, or because the Warframe people need the money, which I understand. It's a game, it's free. Where else are they getting the money? From the microtransactions, that's where. So I get it, but for slots, I mean, slots, they shouldn't be that much expensive. They should be universally free. If you want to get money, make a good-ass game, and then these rich fuckers who have, like, thousands of dollars in their pocket change, they might just, like, say, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna go spend $300,000 on platinum and just give them the money, just because I feel like it. If you can make a good-ass game that would make rich people like that just say, you know what, these people deserve money. I'm just gonna pay them for fucking reasons. Then you can make a game like does that, because there are quite a few games that actually just do that. Fortnite is not one of them. I don't really know what this is. I think I know there's at least 2 games that actually have just microtransactions, and people are legit paying them because they want the game to be better. I think King of Fighters All-Star is probably one of them, where people are actually paying to buy rubies, to buy the microtransactions, exclusively because they want the game to have more updates. They want to give them money so they can do cooler shit. Warframe is a subpar of that. Most of the money that they're getting is from forced payment, which is bullshit. Mainly, for me, especially, simple things of just wanting to buy slots. No, why? Like, if I had the money and your game was actually worth it, I would actually pay you money just for fucking reasons, just to give you more money to have access to updating the game to make it better and whatnot, which would be fantastic. But to make it as a forced payment is not a good thing. It is stupid. Which is one of the reasons why I don't want to play this game much anymore, is because of that fact that I want to add all the Warframes, but I can't do it without adding a few hundred primes and then going to the market or to the trading center thing that sucks worse. This thing never works. This thing sucks. Yeah, it's so disappointing. Like I've spent 30 hours on the trading center alone, on the trading chat alone. I had 3 buyers out of the 7,000 attempts of all sorts of shit. So no, that thing sucks. The Warframe market, I think, died. I don't know what's going on. I've not got a single call on the Warframe market. I don't know what's going on there. It's stupid. It is so dumb at the fact that it's forced to buy something so simplistic. To buying slots, to buying loadout slots. Why does that cost plat? There is no reason to do something. So remove that. Remove platinum as a forced importance to buying something as simple as to buying entire new bundles, or to buying the Warframe itself to be pre-built, or completely built, or just give the money, or to speed up your shit. Sure. That's what microtransactions should be. That would fit well. It's a speeder. It's a speed up. Shouldn't be a forced thing to buying to make actual solid progress in this game, because that's stupid. And no, Nightwave is not going to happen, because Nightwave changes every 6 months, and I only get one of each. I only get one weapon and one Warframe, and that's not talking about the Necromex and the Companions and all the other slots, and that's only happens like every 6 months. That's not happening. I use that for Prime stuff when I'm building other rare Prime stuff, which again is an absolute disappointment. It needs to be changed, and I will gladly update every single Warframe ability eventually. So, yeah, do that, Warframe devs, little bastards, you greedy bastards. Do that, seriously, we need that. It would be fantastic. It would make the game a lot better, a lot less tedious, a lot less pain, probably bring in more customers, and probably even get you more money, because people will actually be willing to just pay for stupid shit, or just to give you money because this game is worth it, and they want to make the game better, and they want to make the game even more better, and add more stuff. Do that. If you make the game worth it, then people aren't even going to give a shit about what the money's for. They're just going to give you the money because they want you to make the game better. It's how the universal term of management works. That's not the right word, but shut up. That's how the universal language of video games work. You make the game worth buying, so people will buy it, and they will spread the word and tell you to buy this game so they can get more money to make this game better. So making it a forced payment to doing some stupid shit, or making the game extremely painful and tedious, and the fact that the game is either too easy or too stupid, needs to be changed. That would be so much better to just fix that. And also, like, Brozyme, who's, like, the only person I ever watched on YouTube who actually makes judgmental opinions about, like, Warframes needing buffs, and some systems are just stupid, and other shit like that. Follow that guy as well. He knows his stuff. He knows more stuff than I do about the statistics and stuff. This is a shout-out, and it is not. Too bad. I am a random peasant and is chilling in a room with 2 fans on because my room is fucking on fire, so too fucking bad. I don't care about your statistic mathematical. Suck it. So I think that's it for what I have for this, I think. Besides, like, I have a Warframe and an Ecomech idea, but I need to write that shit down because I forgot some of the abilities and I hate my life. So I might bring another video and possibly post it on YouTube if I can figure that shit out about that, so that they maybe possibly get the community and other people to actually work on this and make these ideas cool. I will give you the small hint though. The Necromech that I have should be an assassin, and the Warframe would be the Orcan Destroyer. He's the anti-Orcan Warframe, or as I like to call him, the anti-boss frame. So the first Warframe that uses his abilities alone, and only his abilities, no gun buffs like Chroma, to just slaughter bosses in minutes or hours. It's beautiful. So I might make a video about that if I can ever remember to. I didn't write that shit down. I remember them. So thank you, random person who joined my thing out of nowhere for some reason.